Copart is basically run by the Kremlin. This place is run by like a Nazi regime. We're going to the Scranton Copart, which I hate. Like, I've been to a lot of Copart lots. This one here is like they're hoarding cocaine in all the cars over on that side. They don't like it when you video here either, but it's not the Scranton Copart, so they're actually kind human beings here. This is, by the way, is like the strictest Copart in the freaking world. You can't do anything here without getting yelled at. If you look at the wrong car the wrong way, they will yell at you. They just got yelled at for the camera.
Welcome. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead. You carry this channel, man. Do it for once.
Okay. Welcome to the channel.
Oh, no.
Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel.
Well, we got banned from Copart for at least a year. Lance was the first one to get banned. I just got banned. We can't buy any more cars. I don't know if you've realized, go down through the list of videos, rebuilds are kind of a thing that we do. It's kind of the thing that this channel does, at least a lot of the time. Sometimes we have other project cars or ones that we customize or whatever, but like 80% of my videos are wrecked rebuilds. Yeah. And so, Copart doesn't like us anymore. You want to tell them how you got banned first? Because you got banned first, and then you got me banned directly, by the way. Lance got me banned.
Maybe.
Like, yeah.
Maybe.
Lance showed up, I got banned.
That was the order of how things happened. Yeah, so basically, I got banned from Copart back in the springtime.
And what location was that?
That was Altoona. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're actually all right.
Yeah.
And the weird thing about this is I have not ever once said anything negative about Copart.
Copart has this thing, and it just kind of drives me nuts. This is just a, consumer beware type of announcement here. But Copart has this thing where on their website, when you buy something, there's a little section where you can click and put in your zip code and get a shipping quote. They'll tell you how much it costs to ship the vehicle to your address or location. I don't believe on that little widget, maybe it does now, but I don't believe it ever says that it must be a commercial address or a business address. But that is rule number one. Rule number one is if you choose their shipping options, you have to ship to a commercial or business address. It can't be your personal residence. Luckily, the place where Spencer lives is a place that used to have a business run out of it and is listed on all the postal services and things as a commercial address. So number one, if I have to have something shipped by Copart and I don't have my personal shipper or myself pick it up, I have it shipped to Spencer's house. Next thing, bought this vehicle, went into their little shipping calculator thing, and it spit out a price to ship to Spencer's commercial address. And so I booked it, and I called them the next day and said, hey, in the past, because this actually has happened to me before, I've had a few issues in the past. So in the past, I've been told that sometimes an address that's put in there, even if it's commercial, is too far for a local tow company, like with a flatbed or a maybe like a regular traditional tow truck. But it's too close for somebody who's going to have like a full-size tractor trailer and need 7 cars or 10 cars or whatever on their load. So nobody wants to do the short haul for the big guys, and nobody local wants to do this long haul. So I called and said, will this be a problem for me? Copart calls me back and said, nope, that's fine. We got you in here. Within about a week to 10 days, we'll have it shipped. So 10 days pass. I don't know, you can cut as much of this out as you want, okay?
That's fine.
But I also got completely screwed financially on this deal as well. The vehicle I bought, this thing came up with a buy it now for like $5,000 or something like that, $4,000. I don't know. It was $4,000 or $5,000. And I went to, it was a clean title vehicle with like 50,000 miles, really low miles. I went to Carvana and just typed in the VIN number, all the details. Carvana spits back out that they will give me like $12,000 for this car. Carvana's offers are good for 1 week, all right? So that's why I was so diligent. I bought it. I called to make sure my address was good. I wanted to have that thing shipped to me, have the title in my name, all that stuff within 1 week so I could sell it to Carvana underneath their offer that they'd given to me. So 7 days passed, Carvana offers expired. I didn't even worry about looking back at Carvana yet. I wanted to figure out the shipping thing. So let that expire. I call them like day 10 and I'm like, hey, where is this thing? They're like, oh, we can't ship to your location. You're too far away for our local guys, but yet you're too close for our big guys. And I'm like, huh, that's what I called to straighten out a week ago. I wanted to, 10 days ago, I wanted to make sure that wasn't gonna be a problem. So in speaking to the lady, I got escalated to a manager and explained that there are other people that told me wrong and how upset I was, and they added storage fees. They charged me $300 or $400 in storage fees for all the days I didn't pick it up, even though it was their fault for not shipping it to me. I finally got the manager to agree to remove the storage fees and all the penalties and have it shipped to a commercial location that I have with my other business. I have another location that's somewhere in between Altoona and my house. I got them to agree to ship to that commercial address, which would get it like halfway home for me. They said they would do it, they'd book it, whatever, refund all the fees. Well, in that conversation, the lady says, oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know, it's part of our terms and conditions or something that you can't buy more than 4 cars as an individual in Pennsylvania over the course of 1 year. And I said, okay. I said, I didn't realize that. I said, I've been buying cars for years off Copart. I said, probably the last year I probably bought 20 or 30 or something. I said, how many did I buy this year so far? She's like, yeah, like 24. I was like, okay. I was like, that's a few over 4, I guess. She's like, yeah. She's like, I won't suspend your account if you don't buy anything else. All right. So, in all fairness, this might be on me a little bit, okay? All right. But in the meantime, between when she said she would ship to my new location and please don't buy anything more, I bought like a car from Harrisburg, I think. And then I bought a truck from Scranton. And I bought a boat from Chambersburg.
Boat shouldn't count.
I don't know. Yeah, true.
I don't think,
It upset her.
Yeah.
It still upset her. I get an email that says, your account has been suspended. And I'm like, something probably happened. And then I got a call from her that said, hey, I got your shipping all booked up. However, I saw you continue to buy things, like 3 more things since I told you don't buy anything more. And here was my logic on it. She was not banning my account if I didn't buy anything more, or if she banned my account, I couldn't buy anything more. They seemed exactly the same to me. So that's how I got banned from Copart.
So immediately upon Lance getting banned from Copart, he said, hey, let's switch over to using my account, which we don't buy. Like, I haven't bought anything on my account in years, because we always use Lance's because it makes more sense to not pay the fees and stuff over to accounts and have a separate deposits and all those things that you have to do. If you're not familiar with how Copart works, there's a lot of fees and things that are involved. And so we have been using it. We haven't bought that much. And more importantly, for my argument later, we haven't sold many of the vehicles that have been purchased on my account yet. We're buying through my account. I don't think they're ever going to look anything like that. Now, Lance purchased a vehicle at Harrisburg, which now we've had problems, like I said, we've had problems with the Scranton branch particularly forever. Like, they are just they're not easy to work with. I'll try to say the nicest terms. They're not easy to work with. Other branches are, Scranton is not. So I've made a lot of jokes about Scranton, but Harrisburg, where we were going to check out this car, has always been great to us. Like, we know the girls who work at the desk, we're in there a fair amount. So Lance decided to buy this car through my account. I guess I'm buying it, more likely. I mean, it really is like all of my accounts attached to it and everything. So he was like, well, I want to come look at it too. I wonder if they'll let me in. Now, we've had really good experience with Harrisburg. Even though his account is banned, we thought, well, they'll probably still let him in just to come walk with me as I go check out the vehicle that I'm purchasing. And so we sign in, and Lance decides to give the lady his buyer number because she asked.
So, well, yeah, it wasn't like I did. But yeah.
And she's like, it says your account's suspended. He's like, oh yeah, it got a little suspended a couple months back. But I'm just walking with him to check out this car. And she's like, oh, okay, no problem. So she puts us through. We go out, check out this car. And now this is one that we have won the bid on, but had not paid for it. Like we had just won the bid on it. And we didn't have checks or a trailer or anything to pick it up. So we go check out the car and come back out. And we go about our day. And about 2 hours later, I get an email that says, Spencer, your account's been suspended. And I was like, now what in the world? Like, it's probably this 4-car crap again. But I was still like a little bit baffled, like, because they were so nice. I was like, what are they doing going in and checking out like my account, everything like this? And this car would be car number 8 that's been bought on my account. So over the limit, fully understand. However, my argument when I called the lot, because I was a little angry, especially because Lance got through like 3 years of buying 30 cars a year. Or 40, and they never cared, like nobody had ever said anything, didn't know it was a rule, and mine gets a couple of months. I walk in with him one time, and then I think that's why they decided to check into it, because they saw his account was suspended, and they know we work together. So, we used to actually own a car dealership together, alright? So it's where the name for my channel comes from. And the public, the state law in Pennsylvania, cannot sell more than 5 cars a year. All right, and they keep repeating this 4 cars a year thing to me. So I call in and talk to the manager, who is completely unhelpful. I think he was technically correct or okay in the things he was saying, but he was not kind, he was not helpful, would not help me, it was just a very negative experience. So we leave the conversation, we're done. He says, I'm not going to let you buy any more cars. When your account is suspended, you cannot even look into your account anymore. You cannot see the cars you've won, the ones you've bid on, the past ones. You cannot log in. It's like you don't even have an account. If you try to log in with your stuff, it just says your account's been suspended. You cannot look for totals to even pay for a vehicle. So my thought is, and Lance's, from his experience of he had to fight with them, as far as I know, to even let him purchase the other 3 vehicles after his account was suspended before. The car that was purchased, we weren't that excited about. Like, it was like a 50-50. In a normal circumstance, if my account wasn't suspended, we would have bought it, taken it home, it would have been fine, okay? But now that the account's suspended, I just put it out of my mind. I'm like, well, they're not gonna let me buy it. I'm 50-50 on purchasing it anyways, so why am I gonna call up and fight for the ability to buy this car? So I asked, how do your deposits come back? Because I had $1,000 in this account, so that we could bid up to, I think, 10,000 or something like that. I think 1,000 for 10 is 10%. Yeah. So I got $1,000 sitting there, and I'm like, well, I definitely want to get that back. And so we talked about this 4 cars a year thing, and I went back then and researched, and I cannot find anything in the law about 4 cars a year. There's the 5 cars that you can sell, but nothing about buying cars in the motor vehicle code for Pennsylvania. Like, there's just nothing about 4 cars. So I'm like, number 1, they're nuts. Number 2, it's 5 cars and it's selling. I have not sold 5 cars this year. I haven't. I have, of the 8, we have 6 of them sitting outside right now. Okay? We're not even close. I've sold 2 cars or something like that since this has all started. So this 5-car thing isn't relevant. They're just being ridiculous, essentially. Like they're policing for no reason. I was a little bit wrong on that. They do have some leg to stand on, but you'll see why I didn't know. And the guy told me, well, if you don't know the law, then I don't care, I'm not helping you. And that was basically his tone on the phone. And so I did a little research and found out later that there is a law for auctions that says they should, it's not a law, it's just like a recommendation, like a general guideline, they should limit public buyers or, hobbyists like us to 4 cars. But it's not a law. They're not getting in trouble. They admitted they're not getting in trouble. They just go by this guidance whenever they feel like it. I want to get my $1,000 back now, and I call in because I have not seen it come back into my account in 7 days. And I call in and they say, well, you have to pay for a relist fee for this other vehicle. And I'm like, no, like that's a mistake. I know it wasn't my account. I hadn't signed the title. I hadn't paid for it yet. They banned my account and said I couldn't go. Basically my understanding was I can't go through with that purchase.
If they really care about this guideline.
And that's the other thing.
Like if this guideline's super important to them, like that somebody doesn't sneak past and get over for.
Yeah, it's like 7 versus 8 cars, not 3 versus 4.
Yeah.
Or 4 versus 5. Like, it's crazy. So I was like, my complete understanding based on everything they said is like, I'm not allowed to go through this purchase. And then like, well, you owe $650 for this relist fee, but you can get the rest of it back. And I was like, well, that's not correct. Let me talk to a manager or something. And they're like, well, the only person you can talk to is the lot manager at the location that banned you. And I was like, well, this guy and I already had a conversation. And I tried to say it again nicely, but I was like, I don't think he's going to be super helpful in this matter. We had a conversation the other day. It didn't go great, and I don't think he's going to be the one to help. Do you have any other recommendations? They said, nope, that's it. And I was like, all right, well, I guess put me through to him. So we get on the phone, and the argument that Lance just made is what I said. And he's like, no, you owe that. You should have known you had to pay for it. I'm like, well, you told me the other day that I couldn't buy cars, like I was done. You weren't going to allow me to purchase anything. I hadn't signed the title. Why would you want me to sign another title if you're worried about this being over 4 car thing? Like why are you going to let another transaction go through? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And he agreed that, like, he said those things. He was like, but you still owe the money. You should have known. I'm like, I couldn't even log into my account to get a total for this vehicle. I can't do anything on the app. Why would I think that I can go through with this car purchase based on everything that you said? So we had it out over the phone a little bit. I probably freaked out a little bit. He was, again, not helpful. He just kept repeating himself that, well, you owe the money, I'm not doing anything. So we ended the conversation because it just wasn't going anywhere. And so I called back to Copart's customer service number, and I did a little research and found the regional manager for Ohio and Pennsylvania. And they're not supposed to give out phone numbers over the phone. But I found a way to get his phone number through the customer service. I assume if there's a customer service agent who is probably in some trouble, because I don't think they're supposed to give out the manager's numbers. But they did. And so I called and emailed. I just sent, a follow-up, email and call and said, hey, there's a situation going on. Here's my understanding. Here's the manager's understanding. Like, what can we do about this? Like, I'm actually a pretty laid back and I try to be nice and understand when I'm wrong and things like this. But I was like, this was pretty crazy one, and you're not keeping my $650. Like, that's not how this story ends. The story ends with me getting all my money back. And so he, I guess, talked to somebody. I don't know if he talked to the manager at that location. And the manager of the location, in fairness, is a young guy. And I think he probably doesn't want to be pushed around, and I understand that. And I really wasn't trying to push him around. I just wanted my money back. So the regional manager decided to refund our money. As of the taping of this video, I have not received that money yet. There will be a follow-up if I don't. But they are continuing through with the ban, and he is the one who informed me about the limit for auctions. But there's no reason that the public or anyone else would ever know that. That is directed directly to auctions. So unless you own an auction, you wouldn't ever think to know that. That's how we got banned. I guess we're going to switch over to IAI or put...
Well, wait a second. Is it per person?
It's per person.
Not per household?
No, it's per person.
So like my wife, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she doesn't exactly...
Good luck
What's
with that.
the chances of that happening?
I think that's about 100%, give or take.
I probably got a better chance.
We'll be back at Copart. And honestly, we know Copart doesn't do anything for their customers. And honestly, I don't even blame them. They have enough stuff going on. They deal mostly with dealers. Anybody, we've been around the automotive industry our whole lives. Generally, if you're used to dealing with dealers, you don't help out the public at all. That's just what you do. So I understand where they're coming from. But we've let things go and not gotten help. They have lost keys to cars. The Camaro that we just picked up, the loader literally dropped the car on the trailer. I cut it out of the video because you couldn't really tell anyways, but the loader dropped the car while I was saying stop.
I had the people run the forks through the front air, the front spoiler of the Buick.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
In the Fiesta, they ripped the whole EVAC canister off the bottom with the forks. And I'm sure there's
drive shafts. We've had a lot of drive shafts bent up by the forks.
Yeah, literally, it is what it is. We know what we're getting into now. but they have no remorse about any of those things. And they're doing enough volume of cars. Like, I don't really blame them for not, but we've let a lot of things go. And this was just kind of like where we were like, well, now we're done. So,
we are.
I do appreciate,
We are done.
Well, my wife's not. She's getting real invested in
She'll do
cars.
it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she doesn't know it, but, she will. So, that is the story. Hopefully we didn't belabor it too much there. But, we're banned from Copart for at least a year because we bought too many cars.
This is a frustrating part. A lot of the cars that we bought are literally parts cars.
That's true. We buy two almost every time.
Yeah, we buy one parts car that literally ends up being scrap and parts, and we have one that ends up getting fixed. So, like, to buy 8 cars is really only buying 4 for the purpose of any sort of resale anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And you can't buy boats. Like, I can't buy a boat now. I can't buy. I actually actively was going to do a UTV, like a Razor or a Can-Am rebuild, and you cannot even log in to look at them. So they need to refine their system a little bit. They need to be more upfront about it because, if you're a public buyer, do not buy the premium membership.
Yeah, do not buy
an absolute freaking ripoff. They know that it's a ripoff, and that's why I have no sympathy for freaking Copart. They know it's a ripoff, and they are screwing you.
Do not buy the Premier membership. There's at least $200 or $300 of sign-up fee that you will never get back.
No.
And if you are truly limited, if they enforce the 4-car limit, you would have been so much better off to just put the deposit in, bid, get your deposit back. The idea of having unlimited cars you can bid on based on the Premier membership is a complete ripoff for somebody who can't buy more than 4 cars.
Oh, and the thing, if you do put in a family member's name or whatever, and you do, really, it's fine to put my wife's name. She'll sign the title. She owns them. That's fine. We have to pay the $59 for the basic membership every time a new account's created. So it is a money racket. Make no mistake. That's what this is about. It is not about protecting the consumer or whatever. They just use some shaky logic at best to make it work. So, Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night.